Views and opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the staff or management of the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas podcast.
Greetings and happy Thanksgiving. By the way, please know I'm thankful for you all this year. We've grown quite a bit, and I'm just so thankful. All right, let's get to it. Today we are sitting down with the lovely Kori Stanton of Baked by Kori in both Rogers and Fayetteville. But before we do that, we've got some openings to get to. We've got more than usual, so let's get to it. How about the Fayetteville Tea House? They finally opened on Friday after getting through all the permitting and even having to pour a sidewalk. Once we got inside, boy, you could sample all sorts of teas. There were places to sit in separate rooms. Really a charming little spot and a great way to spend time before the lighting of the Ozarks. Firebirds Wood Fired Grill opened on Monday, and if you're watching YouTube, you're seeing video from late afternoon before their dinner service on their grand opening day. Such a great spot. Mrs. Flavors and I got to go Saturday night for the preview. She had the steak penne, and I had the aged ribeye with mashed potatoes. All so good. Side note, little cheat code here. If you're a wine lover, do not sleep on the Firebird Cellars wines. Really liked their cab. On Monday, the first Potbelly Sandwich Shop in Northwest Arkansas opened on the Walmart campus. I stopped in and had lunch, and it was my first time at a Potbelly. I enjoyed the chicken club, hoping that they get more spots in Northwest Arkansas very soon. Speaking of the Walmart campus, Sweetgreen's opened yesterday. They'll be opening one down the line in Fayetteville. If you're not familiar, they serve salads, bowls, and plates made with a focus on fresh, locally sourced, and organic ingredients. And how about this? You all know the popular Nellie's Bakery in Elkins. They announced on Monday that their desserts will soon be available at the shops at Brick City in Fayetteville. They'll have dessert exclusives there, tasting events, and even hold classes. Congrats to Priscilla and Danielle. Keeping it sweet, according to the Fayetteville Flyer, the old Burger King on College will soon be a Handel's ice cream shop. It'll be the second location in Arkansas, with the first one being in Rogers. Local owner Kinsey Green told the Flyer that they carry 48 flavors at a time, including non-dairy and vegan options. Speaking of cheat codes, there is a local cheat code deli in Springdale that's getting more popular by the day. It's called the NYC Express Deli, and now they're expanding into Rogers. They'll be at 1710 West Hudson in the White Hawk Center convenience store. No word on when they will be opening yet. We do have word on when Chicken Headz will be opening in Bentonville, and that's going to be on Saturday, December the 13th at 4 p.m. Their last day in Fayetteville was this past Saturday. They're now located at 201 Southwest 14th Street, Suite 107. And happy 6 years to Natural State Beer Company in Rogers. They celebrated Saturday with special pours from the archives and super discounted merch. Got some sad news to report from yesterday. Levi's Gastrolounge in downtown Rogers will be closing on December the 20th. They posted a letter to their social media accounts yesterday thanking customers and staff. They've been in business there for 11 years. And as a lot of you know, we hit 100 episodes a few weeks back and have built up a pretty good little archive. So last week, we started something called Flavors Flashback, where we pull up a quick story from a previous episode. And this week, it's Kaya Chocolate's Rick Busey. He and his daughters had been on a trip to Ecuador, working to cut out the middleman in the chocolate trade. And the night before they left, things got a little hectic.
And then that night, we got back to the hotel, and we were staying in what I would call a Motel 6 kind of place.
Sure.
And I woke up the next morning about 6 o'clock, and my daughter's bouncing across the room. And I'm looking, and I'm going. And my other daughter, she's like, Dad? And it took a second. We were in a 7.2 earthquake.
Oh, no!
And we're on the 4th floor. Motel 6, but I mean, that equivalent, right? And one daughter's in her bed, sleep, bounce across the floor. The other daughter's like, what do we do? I'm like, there's not much we can do.
Hang on.
Just hang on. And we were fine. And it was that point. It's like, we're going home. And it turned out that the driver took us back, that 3.5-hour drive back to Guayaquil. And later, after we crossed out of town, the bridge that we crossed to leave town collapsed. Oh. Nobody was hurt, but the bridge collapsed. And if we had not gotten out of town when we got out of town, it was like a 14-hour drive to get back. The only other way, she had to go up into the mountains and stuff. And I was like, but man, the bug was there at that point. It was like, how cool is that? I mean, you don't get that driving to Bentonville.
Kori Stanton wanted to be a lawyer when she went to college, and after a few weeks working at a law firm, she decided it wasn't the route for her. After college, she and her husband moved to New York City, where they would raise their family and be for several decades. That's also where Kori started her baking business, and boy, did she catch fire. Her cookies were the snack of the day on The Rachel Ray Show, and that was great, and not so great. Kori's going to tell you why. Also, what was it like starting a bakery in New York City? Aren't spots there already established? Well, there's a hint there, and it's all who you know. Also, what was it like living in New York City during 9/11? And lastly, how did they end up in Northwest Arkansas? We talk with Kori Stanton from Baked by Kori, and that's next, right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. They're skilled experts, discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Welcome back. We are at Baked by Kori here in downtown Rogers, and joining us now, Kori Stanton. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for your time. I know we're, a week from Thanksgiving, and you're sitting here with me. Bless you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. And by the way, running 2 bakeries and sitting here as opposed to just one, that's got to be crazy, especially this time of year.
Yeah, it is. I literally walked in the door about 20 minutes before you did. I left the other store.
Okay. Wow. I'm telling you, burning up I-49 up and down.
Yes.
My gosh.
Yes.
Well, I want to start with you. Now, where are you originally from?
I was born and raised in southern Indiana, small town. Lived there for... I was about 22 when I moved, transferred to University of South Carolina, Coastal Carolina, to finish out my degree. Mm-hmm. And from there, it's quite a journey to Northwest Arkansas.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, when you were a kid, were you into baking?
So my mom baked,
like
just box cakes and chocolate chip cookies from the back of the bag, but I always helped her, and it was fun. Never thought I'd end up here.
Well,
but,
it's funny, and the influence of our parents. My dad was in PR, and before that was a newspaper guy, and previous to that, his father owned a newspaper in far south Texas, 15 minutes from Reynosa, Mexico. Yeah. And his brother owned one in the panhandle of Oklahoma, and their dad owned one over by Amarillo, not far. So it's amazing the impact that our parents have on us to kind of propel us into the future. So at that age, was it something you really enjoyed doing, and in the back of your mind thinking, this might be something that I carry on down the line?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I loved to help my mom in the kitchen, and I never thought I'd end up owning bakery, wine bars.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay. And is that what you majored in?
Political science, yes.
Okay, well, leading to that.
Yeah, and then I said, okay, I'm going to take a year off, study for the LSAT, work at a law firm. Worked there about 6 weeks and said, nope, this is not the life for me.
Right. Yeah. That can kind of happen pretty quickly, can't it?
It really can, yeah.
All right. So that kind of left you with a little bit of a void after the 6 weeks. What were you thinking then? Yeah,
so I graduated from college in South Carolina. I lived there 5 days and met my husband.
Okay.
So that's another story in itself. Sure. But so we lived there for the 2 years I had left of school. Okay. We took a trip to New York City in October before I graduated. Spirit Airlines was running like a $20 round trip
Weren't those
or
the
something.
best?
I know.
Those were the
Where
best.
are those now?
Oh,
Yeah.
especially when you're young and you're like, I'll just take a little
Yeah.
bag with nothing in it and let's
yeah.
go.
We were there like 36 hours, and I fell in love
Oh, boy.
with the city. I
Yeah.
said, we are moving here when I graduate. And my husband, my boyfriend at the time, he
Yeah.
said, you love the beach. And I said, I do, but I never get to go to the beach.
Yeah.
And I love this city.
And you had never been before?
No, never.
Yeah.
Never been, well, lived in South Carolina, but before that, never really been east of, I don't know, Kentucky maybe? I don't.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so didn't know anything about the East Coast.
Mhm.
But fell in love, and I graduated in, I guess, May of 1998. And about 3 weeks before graduation, I asked my husband, I said, okay, so we're moving, right? And he's like, where? And I'm like, New York. He's like, you were serious.
Oh, no.
And I said, yes. So we packed, he found a job, luckily,
Yeah.
first. Packed up a moving truck with our 2 cats and
Oh, man.
headed up the East Coast. Luckily, his parents are in Western Massachusetts, so
Okay.
we had a home base to
Not
hang
far.
out for a while, a couple months, I think. Didn't realize what moving to New York City would entail, so we lived in White Plains for a year.
Okay.
All
right.
To get our feet wet and figure it out. But then we moved to the Upper West Side, and 21 years later,
Wow. So
Yeah.
you can't really move to New York blindly, can you?
we did.
Well, no, I mean
But
like the
had
city.
yeah. We had the pit stop in White Plains.
Okay. All right. So while there, what did you do previous to basically what it is that you're doing now, or did you just start out of the gates?
No, so I worked at the law firm.
Okay.
I worked at 2 law firms. My first job was in the World Trade Center.
Oh,
so
boy.
you literally don't have a further commute from White Plains to the city than White Plains to the World Trade Center.
Okay.
I worked there for 2 years. I left there in July of 2000.
Oh,
So about a year before 9/11.
it's pretty fortunate.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was at that law firm, and then I moved to a different law firm a little closer to where we lived on the Upper West Side.
Okay.
And worked there. And worked until I had kids.
Okay. All right. So now, while you were there, I guess 9/11 happens, and
Yes.
you're living in the city, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And even though I hadn't worked at that firm in the World Trade Center for over a year,
Yeah.
every person that I knew that didn't live in New York thought I did. That's all they remember.
Oh, my
'Cause
gosh.
You know somebody who works there, and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh my God, this thing is happening.
Really scary.
Really scary.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. And you know, small town Indiana girl
Yeah.
living through it and looking out your window and seeing,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so the job I had at the time, my boss had a twin sister who had worked in one of the towers on the 105th floor.
Okay.
So that was very emotional,
Yeah.
and it made me fall in love with the city even more.
Okay. The way people rallied.
The way people rallied around each
Yeah.
other, and just my boss in particular, she was from an Irish Catholic family of firefighters.
Oh, yeah.
And so going to her sister's memorial service,
Oh.
just an
That's a lot.
experience like no other
Yeah.
that I hope I don't have to go through ever again.
For sure.
But it just really showed me that the city is a place that you not only live in, but you belong to.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that for sure. So you're there and you're raising kids there. When did you get the bug or the itch to get into baking professionally?
Well, so while I was working before kids, I was the office baker. Like, just I don't
Always
know.
happens.
One day I'd make something, and my husband's like, "We can't eat all this," so he's like, "Get this out of the apartment." So I would take it to work.
Yeah.
And then after I had kids, I was a stay-at-home mom. I have a daughter and a son who are now 19 and 22. But once they started school, I was the PTA mom baker.
Okay.
Any fundraiser or teacher night
Oh,
or
gosh.
whatever, anything that needed baked goods, I'd be the first one to say, I'll do it.
Nice.
So I did that, and then everyone kept saying, you have got to stop giving this away. You have to start charging for this. And I was like, well, how do I do that? I didn't know the first thing about owning a business in
Right.
New York City, let alone a food business.
Right.
So my husband and I talked about it, and I kind of knew somebody who knew a real estate person who knew of this place that might be available, and it was a commercial building, and my landlord owned the building, and he made in that building the pizza delivery bags. You've seen those?
Yeah.
That was the building that my first bakery was in.
No
it was
kidding.
Wholesale and online, no storefront. But, I had that for a little over a year, probably.
So, now correct me if I'm wrong, but you got to build out a professional kitchen,
Yeah,
no?
I did. It was literally an interior room of the building that had a 3-compartment sink already. So that was very lucky.
Yeah.
And the building was obviously wired for a lot of powerful ovens.
Yeah.
Just anything. So, and it was zoned to be a food production. So
Amazing.
it all kind of just lined up.
Man, it's all who you know, right?
Yeah.
Especially there.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
So I had I was had a website and did a lot of corporate orders, corporate gifting.
How's word of mouth for something like that there? It's pretty big, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much what it was
Yeah.
because I mean we're talking. This is 2009 when I opened.
Okay.
So it was it's been a long time ago. But
Girl, don't tell me. That's when I moved here.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that's great. Well, that's cool. So, along the way, you got a little too popular. No?
Yes. Yeah. So things were going crazy.
Yeah.
The name of the company at the time was Taste Cookies.
Okay.
And I don't even remember how I came up with that, but I just thought it sounded Taste Cookies, not your ordinary cookie.
Great.
And so things were great. Had the wholesale bakery, catering.
Yeah.
At that time, I was really into Twitter. I don't know.
Oh,
Instagram
gosh.
probably wasn't around yet.
No.
I don't know. Yeah.
No,
but-
I was too.
Yeah, so I didn't have any money for marketing or advertising, so
Yeah.
I was my PR person, so I would just literally tweet any food-related person in New York City, which is thousands.
Yeah.
And one day I tweeted the Rachel Ray account, and I said, "Oh, these cookies would be the best taste snack of the day you've ever had on your show." And the next day, one of her production assistants reached out and said, "Can you have 300 cookies here tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Yep, I can." So
Boom.
I did, and then from there, I was like, "Oh, this is great! My name's going to be everywhere." A week later, I got a cease and desist letter from somebody in West Virginia that their client owned. I don't know. I want to say it's like a little, almost like a Nola's Pantry, probably is what it was.
Sure.
So it wasn't even a bakery per se.
Yeah.
But they had the name Taste trademarked in the baking category among
Bastards.
other categories, and I'm like, what does that even mean? I had no idea. I'm like, what? I'm just, I had this bakery in my head, and now
Right.
it's open, and now somebody in West Virginia wants to sue me.
Oh no.
So I got a trademark attorney,
Uh-huh.
and then had to change the name. But the problem there was I was signed on to be in the Martha Stewart Milk and Cookies New York City Wine and Food Festival.
Okay.
And they were going to print with everything like 5 days
no.
later.
Oh no.
And so they couldn't print Taste Cookies.
Right.
And I had no other name in mind. And you wouldn't believe the amount of people who own trademarks in this country.
Oh my gosh.
We just were going, like, every time I'd come up with something, I'd search the trademark database and like, well, they've got a trademark. So we ended up with EE Cookies.
Okay.
And my daughter's name is Emma Elizabeth.
Oh.
So that's where the EE came from.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the name of the bakery for the majority of the time I was in New York.
Okay. And you had to move too, by the way.
Yes, we did. So we went from the
The
commercial
business,
kitchen.
that is, yeah.
So I had a friend who owned Alice's Teacup, which were tea shops in New York City.
Okay.
Cutest little places.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were taking over a cafe at a children's bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at one time that bookstore must have been a restaurant because it had the most beautiful kitchen.
Oh wow.
It was just this huge kitchen, and they weren't using it because
Yeah.
they already had 3 other stores where they baked at. And so they said, well, would you like to rent the space from us and then have your stuff in the cafe, because they did cupcakes and scones and things I didn't do at the time, because I was just strictly cookies.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, that's like the perfect situation.
Pretty good deal, right?
I've got a store, but don't have to run it.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we moved to that space, and it was great.
Yeah.
It was great while it lasted.
Well, after a few decades, as you mentioned, it's New York City to Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to start with that. What prompted that? I guess that's the right way to ask.
So my husband was consulting for a marketing firm in Bentonville, and he'd been doing that for about 18 months. And our kids were almost 13 and 16 at the time, and we've been renting a 900 square foot apartment for 21 years.
Oh no!
Which I miss, by the way.
Oh,
I miss my little apartment.
With 4 people?
Yes,
900 square feet.
4 people, a cat and a dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. No hiding there.
Yeah. No. We were never home though. In New York City, you sleep there. That's it.
Yeah.
You're just out all the time.
Well, I'm sure you could probably find a comparable space here in
Probably
Northwest.
for the same price too.
Well, now,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he comes here full time, I guess, right?
So he was coming here quite often,
Okay.
and he came home in January of 2019 and said, "We have this opportunity. What do you think?" And I said, "Where?"
Right.
And
You had never been here before?
No.
Okay.
Never. Yeah. I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, what's the retirement plan here, Kori?" And I'm like,
Right.
"This. I have a good life." He's like, so we talked about it and talked with our kids, and surprisingly, they were both all for it also. At 13, almost 13 and 16 at the time. And so we came here, I guess it was winter break, so it must have been February. Looked at a few houses in Bentonville, looked at a few houses in Fayetteville, decided Fayetteville was where we wanted to be. Came back right before Easter, looked at like 30 houses in a weekend.
Yeah.
Put an offer in on one, lost it because my husband had to bid $100 below asking. And then I was like, well, we'll give more. And then the realtor was like, well, we don't really do that
That's not how that works.
And I'm like, what? I was like, where am I moving?
That's great. What a great line.
Yeah. So anyway, we got the house we're currently in, and it was much better of a
great.
decision anyway.
Good.
So then so we moved. The kids got out of school Thursday, June 26th, and Friday, June 27th, we were packed up and on the road to Northwest Arkansas.
That's quick.
Yeah.
What a turnaround.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had to close down the business as well.
Yeah.
And moving here, I mean, did you move here with a thought in your mind, I'm just going to do the same thing? We're going to open up somewhere?
Yeah, so it'd been a few years. So the bakery closed in 2013.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was 2009 to 2013.
Okay.
It was, I joke that I wasn't the best businesswoman or the best mother I could be, so one of the two had to go, and the kids aren't going anywhere.
Right,
so
of course.
Put it on hold, and then one of the ways my husband got me to come here, we'll move to Arkansas. It'll be cheaper and easier to open a bakery there. And so we get here.
Oh, he dangled the carrot, did he?
He did, yeah.
Oh.
So we get here. It's basically July of 2019 when we moved, and
it was 400 degrees.
Yes, it was very hot. Yes, yes, very hot. So it took a couple months just to get settled and whatever.
Right.
And then probably around this time, it was before Thanksgiving, November 1st, actually, I think it was when I got the website up and running and registered as an LLC and did all the paperwork and everything.
Sure.
And so I'm like, okay, well, cottage bakery here is very easy to do, so we'll try this for a while. And then so I did a couple craft fairs for the holidays, and then the application period was open for the Fayetteville Farmers Market for the next season. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. That was like a huge interview. I mean, I was not prepared for it. Was like so professional and like bring in 3 references and bring in like 25 cookies and had a meeting in front of the board and so I was like, wow, this is a big deal if I get this spot in the market. Yeah. Because we didn't know it because we moved here in the middle of the summer, and
Sure.
it's too hot to go out.
Yeah.
So we didn't go to the market.
I get
guess.
it. I get it.
So I was supposed to start the market in the spring of 2020,
Okay.
and we all know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, and I actually had a appointment with a bank to talk about funding for the store, scheduled for like, I don't know, the 17th or 18th of March,
Yeah.
like 2 days after the world closed. So
Yeah.
the bank called and said, well, do you want to do this on the phone, or do you want to maybe push this out a couple weeks and see what happens? And I'm like, let's push it out and see what happens.
Smart.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I was at a job at the time where they said, I guess it was a Thursday, and they're like, you know what? Let's all stay home Friday, and we'll see what happens over the weekend, and then
Yeah.
Monday we'll regroup, and
Right.
then everything just
yeah.
kept going worse and worse and worse. And
Yeah.
they're like, we're going to work from home for an indefinite period of time.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that's how that happens.
Yeah. So obviously I did not start the market in March.
Right. Not sure many people did.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I think I don't even know if I was started that summer at all, because
Yeah.
I believe it was just farmers, just, essential
Sure.
people that was their livelihood.
Right, right.
And then I guess it was the next summer I probably started at the Fayetteville farm. I was there for two full seasons.
Okay, so that would have been 2020 and 2021?
21
right?
and 22, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, because this is, yeah.
When did you start getting that itch that it's time for a storefront?
Well, if you saw our kitchen, you would be like, you've got to get out of here, Kori.
It wasn't
Would
just you with the itch, it was others.
Well, and there was just so much stuff that goes along with owning a bakery.
For sure.
All the ingredients and the packaging. And
So much room.
just so much. And why we thought moving into an open floor plan house after living on top of each other for 21 years was a good idea, not real sure. So my husband was working from home,
Yeah, of
and
course,
his
yeah.
office was like 300 feet from the kitchen. So
Sure.
I couldn't be on the mixer when he was on a call. I couldn't even run the water. I'm like, this is not really
Not feasible.
We're not really going to work much longer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we talked, and the kids were a little older and didn't need us as much. So I started looking at spaces, first by myself, just kind of, looking on Facebook and
Sure.
just driving around, really looking for empty spaces.
You bet.
This was the 26th space I looked at.
No
before
kidding.
I found a spot. Yeah, because we live in Fayetteville.
Sure.
And I thought, well, this is where I'm going to be. I'm at the market, and all my customers are
Makes
here.
all the sense.
It'd be easy. This is where I live.
Yeah.
Well, I exhausted everything in Fayetteville, I think, and then I moved on to Springdale.
Right.
And then there was a bookstore across the street from here, and I had connected with the owner and said, "Oh, let's talk about some kind of collaboration or something,
Yeah.
like a milk and cookies hour for the kids,
Yeah.
or just something." And I pulled up, and I'd probably been to downtown Rogers 3 times
Sure.
in the time that we lived here.
Right.
And I pulled up, and I parked across the street at the bookstore, and then I looked over here at this spot, and it was empty. And I was like, what is that? There wasn't a real estate sign on the window or anything. I just saw the lockbox on the door. So I asked the bookstore owner, I said, what's going on across the street? And she's like, oh, well, it used to be a bakery. It was there for like 15 years.
Oh my gosh, you lit up like a freaking
I was
firecracker,
like,
didn't you?
Oh my gosh. And she's like, I'll call my real estate person. I'm like, yes, please. And so I met the next day. I might even have been the same day.
Right.
I came in to look at the spot, and I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And so that was probably September.
Okay.
And I signed the lease November 16th.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it just worked out.
Okay. Then you've got to build everything out.
Yeah, because it was empty. There was nothing.
Yeah.
There was a 3-compartment sink and a hand wash sink in here.
Are we still kind of in the depths of COVID at this point, or is this kind of on the way out?
Well, it was the end of 2022.
Okay.
So COVID was pretty
On the way
much
out.
On the way out, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, then you were able to get the space. You were able to, I guess, get designers to help you design, because you don't know what you don't know at that point, and you're taking all the info you can, right?
Yeah, so I pretty much didn't even know what I was doing.
Of course not.
And I looked at Pinterest, and I said, okay, I want that, I want that, I want that. And
Yeah.
so we just figured out how to do it because I didn't have a designer. I didn't have the budget for to hire anybody.
I hear you. I
Yeah.
get it.
My husband and son and daughter and I did probably 75% of the work ourselves. My husband
Wow.
put in all the tiles.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I painted this thing. That was the end. He's like, I'm done. Painted the exhaust or the HVAC.
The HVAC? That's great. Yeah, I could see that being the case. Yeah. Well, you finally get it done. You get the doors
Yeah.
open. Tell me about the response you got.
So we didn't even really have a date for opening set.
Yeah.
We just knew we were having the health inspection, and I thought I needed a full case. A case full of all the baked. I thought I had to be like doors ready.
Understood.
So we were completely doors ready, and the health inspector came at like 9:00 that morning, and then my husband's like, "Well, what now?" And I'm like, "Well, I guess we just open." And so we did, because I'm like, I have a case full of food, 2 cases full of food. I'm like,
So, like the same day as the health inspector approves you, you're like,
Yeah.
let's just open the doors.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, what now?" And I'm like, "Well, we'll just open and maybe somebody will come." And they did, and
That's
it was
great.
great. Just the welcome. It was such a warm welcome to this community down
That's
here.
great.
And that was, I guess, January 12th, 2020. Maybe that was 2022, because my 3-year anniversary is coming up.
Okay.
So-
Yeah. Okay.
So it must have still been 2021 when I signed the lease.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, January 12th, 2022, we
Yeah.
had the health inspection, and an hour later we were opened. And we
That's
haven't
amazing.
been closed since, really.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Well, what a great story. That's fun. Well, you decide at some point, you know what? Let's go with that original plan too and add Fayetteville.
Yeah, so we thought we would be open here for at least 2 years before we even started looking for a space. I signed the lease to the Fayetteville store 1 year from the date I signed the lease on this store. Yeah, so we were not even opened for a year before I signed the lease on a second space.
Well, and not to put the cart before the horse, but how did you find the spot in Fayetteville?
Oh, so it's funny. My husband's on these email lists, like business opportunities or something.
Okay.
And the previous tenant, which was Auntie Anne's Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory.
Okay, yeah.
That's where they were closing, but
Okay.
they still had time left on their lease. And so they were trying to sell the entire business. I didn't want that.
Yeah.
I already have a business.
Right.
I just wanted the space.
Mhm.
So went, looked at it. It was like, this could be really good.
Yeah.
So negotiated with her to buy out all of her furniture, fixtures, equipment.
Right.
And then, small world, the building owner, his grandson is my son's, one of his best friends.
Oh.
We didn't know that before we got into it.
Welcome to Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after we found that out, we were like, oh, wait a minute. We know these people. And so
That's great. It's funny how these things work.
Yeah. So they were very easy to negotiate with. They didn't make me have anything to do with the old lease. I started a new lease.
That's great.
Completely from scratch.
Right on.
So
Very helpful.
we've been there about 1.5 years.
Gosh.
Open.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, you already talked food?
Yeah.
We'll talk food. We'll have the Mike Engelman Home Pro Tip of the Week, and that is coming up next right here on the Flavors of Northwest Arkansas.
Let me show you something.
Connect with us at Flavors of Northwest Arkansas on Facebook and Instagram, or by email at flavorsofnwa@gmail.com.
All right, it's time for the Mike Engelman Home Pro Tip of the Week. Not teak. Tip of the Week. I'm tongue-tied over here. We'll go to Kori. Kori, what do you have?
So everyone says, why are those cookies? Why are they so round and tall and fat? And I'm like, well, my tip is to make the dough, let it sit in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours before you bake it. And then your butter gets hard again, and put it in the oven, and you have nice, big, fluffy cookies.
Yum. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, big fluffy cookies. Nothing can go wrong there. We'll be right back.
Your story doesn't have to end. As an organ donor, the good in you can live on. In fact, you can save up to 8 lives through organ donation. Sign up to give the gift of life after you're gone. You'll be happy you did. just maybe, someone else will too. Sign up online today as an organ, eye, and tissue donor at organdonor.gov. It saves lives.
"13 people die on the waiting list for an organ transplantation every day, and every 8 minutes someone gets added to that list. 86% of the patients are waiting for a kidney, which is what I was doing back in 2022. Waiting usually takes about 3 to 5 years if you're waiting for a kidney. For me, it was close to 4 years, as I recall. Go to organdonor.gov. Get signed up if you're not. It's very easy on the Arkansas link to get signed up. It takes 5 minutes. Similar for Texas as well. You can also get signed up through the Health app on your iPhone. You can go old school. Go to the Department of Finance whenever you update your license. Tell them you want to be an organ donor. And same goes outside of Arkansas to the DMV. Get set up there and get squared away to be an organ donor. As always, thank you so much. And we are back with Kori. And we are ready to talk food. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Well, I lied. We're actually starting with wine. Tell me how you added wine to this, because that's, for those that don't know, that is, my probably adult beverage preference. But please.
So when I was in New York and had the bakery there, it was at a children's bookstore and there was no wine, although I'm sure the mothers would have greatly appreciated it.
You would have sold out.
I would have, yes. But
and no one drives there, so you
I know,
perfect.
you can drink as much as you want.
Right.
So I always did collaborations and pop-ups with wine stores around the neighborhoods and stuff. And so I knew that it worked. And obviously, who doesn't love dessert and wine?
What else is there?
Yeah, I know, right? So when we were thinking of opening this space, like I said, I didn't have a designer. It was just kind of like, oh, well, I like that. Mm-hmm. We were literally 90% done with the build out, and my husband and I went over to Parkside for lunch, and we were sitting at the bar there, and I said, we're adding the bar. And my husband said, what? And I said, we're putting the bar in now. And he said, Kori, we're literally like almost done. And I said, yeah, but we've got that little space in the window and we weren't quite sure what to do with it. And I said, and if we don't do this now, we're not going to do it. Because once we're up and running.
It'd be impossible, yeah.
Yeah. I said, so we're putting the bar in. And he's like, do you even know how to get a wine and beer license? And I'm like, nope, but I know how to use the internet. So we came back and we told the guy who was doing the contracting work, hold up. We got an idea for this space.
Right.
It's not going to be counters. It's going to be a bar. And he said, it's going to be a what?
Yeah. Right.
He's a bakery and wine bar? I said, yes. Just trust me.
Yeah.
And so we did. We put the bar in, and so we opened mid-January, and then it was not hard to get the beer and wine license, but it was a lot of work because the state was there's no manual. There's no how do you open, how do you get a liquor license in Arkansas?
Yeah.
What are the steps? There's none of that. You just figure it out.
I can't tell you how many people I've interviewed that have said we had to go to Little Rock to get it because we were going to have to open the next day.
Yeah. So they lost my first application.
Oh, no.
And so I drove it down the second time. I drove down with it in my hand, and then they handed me my 30-day sign for the window. I wasn't leaving until I got that. And so I had hoped to have it by Valentine's Day, but it was February 16th. So it was literally a month after I opened when I got the beer and wine license.
All right.
But it was okay.
Yeah.
It worked.
Okay. Oh, perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, cookies are what started your journey. I'd love to talk about the cookies here. I'm not sure. I'm going to guess that the old-fashioned chocolate chip are the ones that you probably can't keep on the shelf. That's just a guess.
Yeah, so the old-fashioned chocolate chip, and then the actual bestseller is the triple chocolate chip with pecan and sea salt.
Oh,
yeah,
no kidding.
That is the bestseller, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I would say, because I looked on and I told you this before we started rolling, there are 16 different 16 different kinds that you can get on the website. But I would assume that's probably pretty fluid.
No, they're pretty much what we have all the time.
All right.
Yeah. We've only added one Well, actually 2, because one was an accident, but it was a good accident.
Love good accidents.
But we've added 2 cookies since we opened, and the rest of them have been staples the whole time.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I looked, by the way, my wife is a mint chocolate chip degenerate when it comes to ice cream. So I saw mint chunk, and I thought, oh, she would go nuts.
Yeah, that is my favorite.
Oh, is it really?
When I was pregnant with my son, I probably ate my weight in Haagen-Dazs mint chip ice cream.
That's her thing.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I'm like, I need to make a cookie that tastes like this.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, my gosh.
that's where that came from.
Yeah, well done, by the way, well done. Cupcakes, pumpkin spice with cream cheese buttercream.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap. Any sort of cream cheese icing, you can, I'm not even worried about the rest of it. I would just eat a bowl full of that, just straight up.
Yeah.
Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
So it's really good, and I think one thing that makes all of our products a little different is we use fresh vanilla bean.
Oh.
I buy the beans in bulk from a co-op on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
So I get them for not the price of gold.
Yeah, right.
But I'll take the bean, I'll split it, we'll scrape the beans out, we'll scrape the little beans out of the pod, and we add it to the butter. So that's our
That's
foundation of everything we make. Cookies, buttercream,
Yeah.
cake pops, just anything
Yum.
that has vanilla bean in
Yum,
it.
yum, yum.
So, yeah, it's just, and the cupcake has the vanilla bean in it too, along with all the spices.
That's great. And currently the cupcakes you have are?
We have, I think 6 cupcakes this week. We've got a vanilla with vanilla buttercream, and then a vanilla with a white chocolate peppermint buttercream, and then a chocolate with chocolate buttercream, a chocolate with the same white chocolate peppermint buttercream.
Yum.
And then we've got 2 spice seasonal. So we've got a pumpkin with the cream cheese buttercream, and then we've got an apple cranberry. So I basically baked the innards of the pie, the apple cranberry pie, and then put it in the food processor and made it like a puree almost. Added that into the cupcake batter, and then made a cinnamon cream cheese buttercream and put a little dollop of the apple cran compote on top.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
My gosh.
But it's good.
How do you come up with something like that?
I don't know. My favorite dessert probably is the only time I ever ordered dessert at a restaurant, even when we lived in New York, was if there was something apple on the menu.
Okay.
I'm like, not really that much of a dessert person.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, owning a bakery, you'd think I would be, but apple is my go-to.
Okay.
So I just love it, and with the fresh cranberries in it, it just takes it to another level.
It kind of with you there in the fact that I'm usually too full by the time that dessert rolls around.
Yeah.
Although I'll sometimes get something to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get a glass of bubbles.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
be
that.
like,
I'll get a
drink
glass of
my
red.
calories instead of waste them on something I don't really want.
Exact same. Believe me, I hear you there. Also very popular with cake pops.
Yes.
Tell me about the cake pops.
So cake pops started at the farmer's market. I was like, I need to make something like a protein ball or something for all these people who like the outdoor sports.
Yeah.
There's so many of them around here, biking and hiking and everything. So
All of
I
it.
thought, let me make something. So I made a peanut butter protein cake ball and took it to the farmer's market one morning. And all the kids were drawn to it, but they're like, where's the stick? And I'm like, what do you mean, where's the stick? And they're like, we need a cake pop. Where's the, like Starbucks has?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, there you go.
And I'm like, oh, well, okay, we'll try that next week.
Everything is a callback to Starbucks, unfortunately.
Yeah. So the next week I made them on sticks, and then the grown-ups didn't really want them that much. So I'm like, forget the protein part. I'm just doing cake pops.
Perfect.
So we started from there. We started with just chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah.
And it was still COVID protocol at the farmer's market, so everything had to be individually wrapped. So I was making the cake pops and decorating them and putting them in little bags with ribbons around them.
Gosh, you got to keep them. You got to keep them cold.
Yeah. In the warm months, they didn't work so
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
It was like a game of Jenga with the ice and the coolers and
Oh,
rotating
no.
them out and stuff. So cake
What a
pops
nightmare.
were tough in the
Yeah.
warmer months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my daughter, who had graduated in 2021 from high school, and tried college for a year. It wasn't quite her thing.
Yeah.
It was fine. We said, that's fine. You don't have to go to school, but you got to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
So she became the cake pop person
Okay.
because she didn't like how I was, my ribbons didn't match the sprinkles on the cake pops.
Uh-oh.
So I said, okay, well then you do that.
Take it over.
And then like 2 weeks later, she's like, I really don't like that sprinkle combination with the color of the. So she just had opinions, and I said, okay, you're now the cake pop person.
Boom.
So she became the cake pop lady.
Nice.
Yeah. So then we expanded our flavors. We have, like this week, we have chocolate vanilla birthday cake always, and then we have pumpkin right now.
Yeah.
But we've had matcha lemon, and
Ooh.
we've just like any flavor. Strawberry is one of the most popular. Peanut butter. Just
Yeah.
any-
Yeah.
we have
Awesome.
lots of different flavors every
Awesome.
week.
So many other things. I saw quiche.
Yes.
Tell me about your quiche.
Yeah. So the quiche was kind of a surprise.
Okay.
I didn't expect so many people, because a lot of people didn't know what it was.
Huh. Okay.
And I was like, well, it's basically an egg pie.
Yeah.
And I started out with just like a basic ham and cheddar, and then it grew to, we had 5 flavors offered daily at one time before the
Dang.
tornado, because we had a really, really big lunch business
Oh,
before the
gosh.
tornado
Oh,
happened
no.
down here. Yeah.
Yeah.
We would go through those 5 quiche a week
Oh,
for
my
lunch
gosh.
alone. Yeah.
Wow.
And plus a 15 or 20 pound turkey that I would roast.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So anyway, but we have two flavors now offered daily. One is the ham bacon cheddar, and then one's vegetarian. Well, except for the eggs, but
Right.
it's not vegan.
There you go.
Yeah, tomato, mozzarella, pesto, and arugula.
Yummo.
Yeah.
Right
so,
on.
They're quite popular.
Speaking of roasting a turkey, you just did one.
Yeah, we did yesterday.
Yeah.
We roasted a 20-pound turkey yesterday for sandwiches.
Lordy.
Yeah.
All parts and everything.
Entire bird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My family says I kind of ruined Thanksgiving for them because they can have turkey at any time now.
Right. Right. Oh, well. It's all in good fun. You ever tried doing the fried turkey, dropping it in the bucket with the
No,
oil?
I haven't tried that, but I'm afraid.
Well, I would be too. So my driveway is one of those slanted ones, so there's nowhere for me to do it. So I'm off the hook. I could walk to the cul-de-sac. That's like 2 houses down. I'm not carrying all that stuff down.
No.
There's no way to do that. I'm not doing that. Plus, people probably back into it, as it's going.
Yeah.
So, but no. So yeah, anything like that, I'll do in the oven or the grill.
Right.
So, yeah. But yeah, I've always been curious about it because I've always seen it like on TV when they do it, and then you see like the warning they do for Thanksgiving, and it shows someone catching their whole freaking house on fire.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, it scares me too a little bit, if I'm being honest. Let's talk pies.
Okay.
You guys do pies too.
We do. We do pies. We do pumpkin, apple crayon. We do not only pies, but we do like with the crumble, because I like the brown sugar cinnamon on top. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
And we do we make banana pudding from scratch here. So I don't do a banana cream pie. I do a banana pudding pie.
Ooh.
So it's a little different. It doesn't stay together quite as well as a cream pie would, but it tastes amazing.
Yeah.
So,
sounds like it.
yeah. So we offer pies.
And you guys also coffees?
Yes.
And tell me about that.
So the Fayetteville store has a huge machine. The Target in Fayetteville remodeled. Somebody put on the chef's group on Facebook. They had 2 Starbucks machines for $500, and I said, "I'll take them." And that's when I had only this store.
Yeah.
I hadn't been open that long.
Mm-hmm.
It was like 6 months, and I'm like, we just had drip coffee at the time.
Yeah.
And I bought these 2 huge $20,000 machines from Starbucks, and then I had 3 electricians say, "Kori, if you try to hardwire one more thing, you're going to blow up the block." I said, "What? No, So I literally asked 3 different electricians, and they all told me the same thing. So I can't use the Starbucks machine here.
Okay.
But I've got 2, and so one of them is at the Fayetteville store.
Okay.
So that was no problem getting that hooked up down there. And then probably after we'd been open there for about 6 months, and I saw how much friggin' lattes we sold, I'm like, I got to do something up here.
Yeah.
So we bought one of those Ninja espresso machines.
Yeah, okay.
Which is a nice mid-level.
Sure.
And for what we're doing here, it works just fine. So now
That's
we
great.
offer all of the espresso drinks that we have
Nice.
at both stores now.
All right, you got baristas.
We do, yeah.
Nice.
I've got baristas, yeah.
Outstanding. Love that. Dirty sodas?
Yes, so
That's kind of a thing now.
it really is a thing, and I didn't realize it, but I'm like, guys, we have all of these syrups. I think I went to Kaya Chocolates
Rick Boosie.
Monday.
Yeah, I've interviewed him. He's great.
Oh my gosh, it's great. Their
Love
stuff is
Rick.
great. I think I dropped like $1,000 on syrups on Monday. And so I'm like, guys, we have all of these syrups. We've got to do something else besides just lattes.
Yeah.
And so they're like dirty sodas and Red Bull refreshers. So anything. People just like sugar on sugar,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So,
Welcome to America, right?
Yeah, it works. So we've got a nice dirty soda and Red Bull refresher business also.
Love it.
With all the local syrups that we have.
That's great. That's great. And they've got great syrups
They
over
really
there.
do,
They
yeah.
really do. They do a lot of research. I've been over there a few times, and I've been in the back to see how they do it, and it's just great.
Yeah.
They do a great job. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been great.
Yeah, thank you.
How can folks find you online and in person?
So bakedbykori.com is the website. I laugh and say I'm a baker. I'm not a technical person, so it's very simple website.
There you go. It's Kori, Kori, by the
Yes.
way, for those that don't know.
Yes, Kori. And then my Facebook and Instagram is just at Baked by Kori.
Okay.
And I have the kids, so I call them my kids, but the Fayetteville store, it's all college kids that work for me.
Perfect.
They're great. I feel like I'm their surrogate mother while they're away from
Yeah,
home.
of course.
But I make them post on social media.
Okay.
I'm like, you guys laugh at me what I post. You say it's not that great. I
Yeah.
said, so do it. And so they have been, and they've been doing a pretty good job.
Have they built you a TikTok yet?
We do have a TikTok. Yes.
Right. Listen, I do too. I wish I had kids posting for me, but no, it's just me. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah.
We'll tag you on there too.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Flavors of Northwest Arkansas is also on TikTok. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much. Remember, tip your servers. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Oh, by the way, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.